Hello, welcome to Dungeon Rollers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing the 1984 mecha anime series Giant Gorg, which is a 26 episode TV series written and directed by Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, co-written by Masaki Tsuchi, music by Museo Hagito. It was by Studio Sunrise, who's obviously famous for the Gundam series, and Yasuhiko did the character designs for a lot of the early Gundam series, and he even did some of the more recent ones, like what was it, like Gundam Unicorn, and I think he did. I don't know if he's working on Halfway's Flash, but that's pretty much the same art style. So this series, I tried watching a few years back, didn't get into it, but when I started watching this week, I started enjoying it, man. Like it's a very great, it's a very fun series. It reminds me of Johnny Quest and Venture Bros, especially with some of the characters. The story for this mecha anime series is in 1990, an island merged about 2,000 kilometers southeast of the country of Samoa. It was named New Austral Island because of its close proximity to Austral Island. However, due to a secret concerning the new landmass, an organization called Guile, which it's spelled Gale, but it's pronounced Guile in the show, covered up its existence. Though absent from the map, it was still very much afloat as part of the cover-up. Dr. Takami, a university professor obsessed with the island, was killed. In his will, he instructed his son Yu Takami to meet up with his former student, Dr. Wave, who's like, he's very much like the comedic relief, and he's basically a Rusty Venture from Venture Bros, if you watch that show. Dr. Wave in New York. Shortly after he arrives, Dr. Wave, who's like 33, but he has a sister that lives with him, who's like a teenage girl, and I'm assuming she's like the same age as Tagami, which is like, he's like 13. So very weird how you have this 13-year-old girl that lives with her 33-year-old brother. And their dog Argos, who's I think he's a Doberman, are attacked by Guile. They escape with the help of Skipper, an old friend of Dr. Waves, whose Doris describes as a bad guy. With Skipper's help, they make their way to Astral Island, though not without trouble, where their Yu is saved by a seemingly sentient robot called Gorg that the locals believe is the island's protector. They call him the God's messenger. The story unfolds from there as Yu, Gorg, and their friends try to discover the secrets of New Austral Island while fighting off the forces of Guile, which some of their allies are. Let's check here. Out of the way. Sarah and what's his name? Dominic, which I think they were going for Dominic, but they got the name wrong. Who they all find this tank, right? Which they use as their kind of like headquarters, right? And they together with the tank and Gorg, they fight Guile. So the series, Guile being like the Rod Balboa is the branch manager of Guile, who almost like in New York almost ran over our main character Yutakami and calls him a ninja when he sees how he dodges him. Which Rod Balboa is the grandfather of the chairman of Guile, who like there's this the first 4 episodes, the first 3 episodes is just us getting introduced to these new characters and their journey to Austral Island. So it's not till like episode 4 where you meet Giant Gorg, right? And the first 3 episodes, though they have no mecha fights, they're pretty fun because like you have this you have the main character who's Skipper. Sorry, one of the main characters, the Skipper, who's this badass character. He's like the Race Bannon or the Brock Sampson of the group, who's like who's a very shady looking guy. But he's like super tough. But he's also has a nice side. When they were on the bus, traveling to the traveling cross country, there's like a crying baby across from them on the bus, and he breaks off the clip off his beer can, puts it in his beer can, and gives it to the baby as a toy to get the baby to stop crying, which I thought was a really cool scene. Though, like, they seem to think in America you can just that's the thing. They don't. I guess they didn't know that. Hey, there's this thing called open container laws. You can't just drink beer in public. Oh well. And I think even there's a point where like they Skipper buys like beer out of a convenience. Sorry, at a vending machine. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, so like if you're a fan of Venture Bros, right? Sorry, or Johnny Quest, you're probably gonna love this series. Though there is a lot of cool tank. If you're also a tank fan, there's a lot of cool tank battles. Because Giant Gorg is sentient, when he fights Guile's military, like he's like crushing the ground to get big rocks so he can throw at them. There's a one point where he karate chops a plane, gets the fucking intact, both wings are still intact, and he just throws it like a boomerang and kills one of the enemy's commanders, which scares the shit out of everybody and makes them all run away, right? And though the problem with this series, though, if you're not, I have to get into spoilers because I have to I have some criticisms. But yeah, I would say if you're not a real robot fan, right? If you are a real robot fan, you might find this show a little boring. Though there are near the I would say at the third act of the series, they do bring in other giant robots, so you do get like a war drama going on. So I'm gonna have to get into spoilers. The secret of Austral Island is that there's they talk about how 30,000 years ago this island sank into the sea, and it came back recently. So they're all there, like Guile's there. Our main characters are there because they think there's like a ancient alien ruins and stuff, evidence of ancient aliens on the island, which there's like robot krakens, like sea monsters that destroy surrounding ships there, and there's obviously Giant Gorg. So they find that Giant Gorg leads them to this underwater cavern where where our main character goes in there, and there's the entrance to this ship where they meet one of the surviving aliens. And then what ends up happening is, while our main character is there talking with the alien named Manon, who's pilots like a purple Gorg. So there's like on the back of the DVD that DiscoTek put out, you see Giant Gorg and the purple robot fighting. So I assume the end of the series was going to be Giant Gorg and Manon fighting. That doesn't happen. But what ends up happening is because also I forgot to mention, like the aliens, most of the aliens are asleep in hibernation. They came to Earth because their ship their home planet was destroyed or something happened. So they came to Earth to colonize, but their the local populace was too underdeveloped. So they decided to stay in hibernation, right? and then after 30,000 years, then emerge and come out of hibernation. Only the one character did that. So what ends up happening is while they're like you and Manon are talking, well, Guile is trying to get into the cavern, into the alien spaceship. So they blow the underwater cave up, trying to get past this force field, and this pisses off Manon. So he sends like a fleet of these giant robots to destroy Guile, and they were planning on destroying subjugating the other countries on the planet as well. So once that happens, you're like, oh shit, this is going to get good, right? Because Guile's military is state of the art, and they have trouble fighting one giant robot. A giant robot that's not even armed with guns. Though, like, there's a point where the skipper makes like a gun for Giant Gorg, which looks like an artillery gun. And like, there's a cool scene where he's fighting with the artillery, the cannon, right? And just runs out of ammo, and the Giant Gorg just says fuck it, and just uses the fucking cannon as like a club, and like destroying like helicopters and tanks with it, which doesn't make sense, but just looks fucking cool. Yeah, so like, so the part of one of the plot lines is like, why does Giant Gorg listen to what Yu Tagami says, right? And then it's obvious to us that it's like, because I just figured out right away, it's because he's part alien, right? Because like, he can hear Manon's like telepathic thoughts, but like, the other people can't. So I figured that out right away, right? And then there's this huge like lead up to that, and it's like, it was pretty obvious to me. What I also thought was kind of one other critique is that Giant Gorg is like invincible. No weapons can like or hurt him really. Even you even see him get sunk into lava. It does nothing to him. Even the alien, like the other Guardians, that's what they call the giant robots that look like Gorg. Their beam guns even don't hurt them, right? But it turns out the giant robots have a weakness on their neck, right? So like, we just get like this convenient weakness out of nowhere for our other main characters can fight, right? And there was also some continuity issues in the show, where like Rod Balboa has a name tag with RD on it, and then later on in the series it turns into like LD, sorry, LB, which is like, in Japan they mix up their R's and L's, right? So it's like, you got it right the first time, and then you fuck it up later on. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I really liked how this show, you have like the main characters and the bad guys not only team up at the end, but become allies and fight, a mutual enemy, which turns out to be the aliens for a while. Then it turns into the the world, actually, because the world sends nukes after, like, the skipper, who turns out to be a CIA agent all along, who warns the outside world, hey, there's an alien army and they're going to send out their robots to kill everybody. Which is treated as like a huge betrayal, but which I thought was kind of dumb, because that would have been the correct nuking the island while the aliens are confined on the island would have been the wisest choice, since conventional weapons doesn't work on them. But I don't know. It's treated like as a big betrayal by everybody. But I don't know. I thought the show, despite from that, I thought the show was great. If I if you're not a fan of like Venture Bros or Johnny Quest, later on the show does turn into, like a real robot, like, series, right? Where you get that war drama near the end, right? So I don't know. It's a very fun series. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. You know, it's kind of a desired taste, but you have some cool characters. Giant Gorg looks, has like a classic look to him. I actually didn't think like that. Yasuhiko did the mecha design, because the mecha design just totally looks like, if you ever seen Panzer World Gallant, that mecha series, which, as far as I know, he doesn't work on. I assume that mecha designer worked on that, which, Panzer World Gallant is also another Sunrise show. And the mecha designs from that mecha series and this mecha series like looks so similar, especially like, because like Gorg pretty much just looks like a blue version of the Panzer of the Gallant mech. Which, if you haven't seen Panzer World Gallant, it's like, picture Escavalier, but if Escaflowne, but if it was like a Tomino show, but like Tom didn't work on it. But that's the feel to it, right? So I don't know. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I highly recommend it for people who want not just a mecha series, but like a fun adventure show. All right. So we're gonna pick our next show that we're gonna review. I got like a bunch of names on a piece of paper in a hat, so we're just gonna pick one out. Oh, it's our next mecha series we're gonna review is Goshogun. But in the meantime, before I review Goshogun, I'm gonna review a mecha anime movie. All right, so our next series is gonna be Goshogun, but in the meantime, we're gonna review. We're gonna review. It's technically not a movie series, but we're gonna review Gundam Double 80 War in the Pocket, which is like a 6-episode OVA series where you have our boy David Hayter voicing the main character. What was his name? Bernie Sanders? Sorry, not Bernie Sanders. Bernie Wiseman. That was close enough. All right, guys. Later. Bye.